minus 47 degrees Celsius. That's the temperature in Yakutsk this January morning, where the ground stays frozen 11 months of the year. But underneath this concrete-hard permafrost lies something worth more than gold. Ivan Petrov checks the pressure gauge on his Soviet-era fire engine. 45 years old, 60,000 rubles in debt. One season left before the banks take his house. The mathematics are simple. One Mammoth Tusk equals $30,000. One Tusk equals survival. Behind him, his nephew Dima loads 200 kilograms of fuel drums onto their tracked vehicle. 19 years old. No idea what he's walking into. Dr. Elena Volkov watches from her Land Cruiser, camera in hand. She's here to document what they're about to destroy. The Chinese banned elephant ivory in 2018. Mammoth ivory became the ethical alternative. 10 million mammoths lie frozen in Siberian permafrost. Legal loophole, instant gold rush, industrial-scale grave robbing. The convoy rolls north, 800 kilometers to the extraction site. In 3 months, the rivers will freeze solid, trapping anyone left behind. The permafrost will become impenetrable until next summer. But right now, in these brief weeks of July heat, the ice tombs are opening. And fortunes are being pulled from the earth at 4,000 psi. Day 3. The convoy stops where the road ends. From here, it's cross-country through bog and tundra. Each fuel drum weighs 90 kilograms. The fire engine? 4 tons of Soviet steel designed for fighting urban blazes, not crossing roadless wilderness. They winch the equipment across semi-frozen rivers. The ice groans. The tracks sink into permafrost soup that never fully thaws. 14 hours later, they reach the extraction site. What greets them isn't pristine wilderness. It's a moonscape. Craters 20 meters wide. Collapsed tunnels like open wounds in the earth. Decades of high-pressure mining have turned this permafrost cliff into Swiss cheese. The methodology is simple. Repurpose fire engines into geological weapons.
Water temperature 8 degrees. Pressure 4,000 psi. Enough force to strip concrete.
Ivan connects the intake hose to the river. The pump roars to life. The water cannon targets a section of cliff that's been frozen solid for 40,000 years. Under pressure, ice becomes liquid. 40,000 years of history becomes brown sludge. First discovery, a rib bone. Worthless. Ivan tosses it aside like scrap metal. Dr. Elena retrieves it from the mud. What Ivan discards as garbage contains DNA that could reconstruct Ice Age ecosystems. But DNA doesn't pay debts. Only ivory does. 3 days of blasting, fuel gauge dropping, still no tusks. The permafrost fights back. When surface blasting fails, desperate men go horizontal. Ivan calls them grottos, tunnels carved directly into the base of the permafrost cliffs. Structural engineers have a different name for them: the Widowmakers. The physics here are unforgiving. Permafrost at -5 degrees holds the compressive strength of reinforced concrete, 1,500 psi. It feels solid. It looks permanent. But blast it with river water at 4,000 psi and the molecular bonds shatter instantly. The ice doesn't just melt, it destabilizes.
Tunnel depth, 12 meters. Ceiling thickness, decreasing. Hydraulic erosion rate, critical.
Dima crawls into the horizontal shaft. It is a claustrophobic nightmare. The tunnel is only a meter high. The walls glisten with meltwater that smells of sulfur and 40,000-year-old decay. The roar of the water cannon echoes off the ice, deafening him to the groans of the earth above his head. And the mosquitoes follow him in. Billions of them, drawn to the carbon dioxide of his breath, clouding his vision inside the dark, dripping throat of the cliff. First warning sign, the pop. It sounds like a gunshot muffled by a pillow. It's a shear fracture developing 3 meters above Dima's skull. The permafrost is settling, looking for a new equilibrium.
Seismic vibration detected. Roof deflection at 4 centimeters. Abort. Repeat. Abort immediately.
But Dima is blinded by gold fever. In the mud ahead, his headlamp catches the unmistakable electric blue glint of Vivianite. A 60-kilogram tusk. A house. A future. He ignores the cracking sound and cranks the pressure higher. The water jet slices into the supporting pillar of ice. The collapse doesn't happen in stages. It happens all at once. 200 tons of frozen soil detach from the cliff face. Dima screams. He scrambles backward, crab-walking through the sludge as the tunnel mouth collapses behind him. The air pressure spike blows him out of the hole like a cork from a bottle. Silence returns. Where the tunnel stood is now just a scar of fresh black mud. Dima is alive, shivering in the sludge. But the primary pump, their lifeline, lies crushed flat beneath the landslide. The hunt is over. The survival scenario has begun. Lyakhovsky Islands, 200 kilometers north into the Laptev Sea. Accessible only when pack ice retreats, a 6-week window that closes fast. Ivan makes the call. Abandon the broken pump, burn their remaining fuel on one final gamble. The boat engine strains against 20-knot headwinds. Ice chunks scrape the hull. Dr. Elena checks her thermometer. Minus 12 degrees overnight. The permafrost is hardening by the hour. Winter is coming 6 weeks early.
Tidal erosion zone located. Fresh collapse. Specimen visibility confirmed.
There it is. Protruding from a gully carved by storm surge, the unmistakable blue-green gleam of Vivianite. Not just ivory, premium-grade material worth $60,000, enough to clear Ivan's debts and fund next season. 24-hour extraction marathon begins. Hand tools only. The permafrost fights every centimeter. Then they expose the base of the tusk. It's still attached to a skull. Preserved skin, intact fur. 50,000 years of DNA waiting for science. Dr. Elena pleads for 12 hours to document the specimen. Ivan refuses. The blizzard is building. The boats leave in 6 hours, or they don't leave at all. He cranks the pressure. The water destroys organic tissue, but frees ivory faster. History washes away in brown runoff. The clock wins. "4:18 a.m. The thermometer reads -21 Celsius. What was liquid water 12 hours ago is now becoming crystalline armor. The river, their only highway home, transforms into a death trap. Ice formation follows predictable physics. Thin sheets first, then jagged plates that can puncture aluminium hulls. Ivan calculates loads, fuel drums, equipment, the $60,000 Tusk. Total weight, 800 kilograms. Too much for these conditions.
Engine temperature dropping, oil pressure fluctuating, ice buildup on prop assembly.
Jettison protocol begins. Fuel drums first, 200 kilograms overboard. The backup pump follows. Everything except the Tusk and survival gear. The boat rises 3 centimeters in the water. Those 3 centimeters might save their lives. The engine coughs, stalls. Ice shards scrape the hull like grinding teeth. Ivan cranks the starter. Nothing. Again. The propeller spins free, damaged by ice impact. Dima works the oars while Ivan strips the starter assembly with frost-bitten fingers. 30 minutes to hypothermia. The engine catches. They have power, but no steering. The current carries them toward the bank where their truck waits. Not home, but alive. "400 kilometers south. The blue-gold Tusk lies wrapped in canvas beneath fuel-stained tarps. But possession without permits creates a different mathematics. Russian law exists in gradients. What's illegal to extract becomes ambiguous to transport. First checkpoint, Highway M56, kilometer marker 427. 2 officers emerge from a prefab booth. Ivan knows the protocol. Engine off, documents ready. 5,000 rubles folded inside his passport.
Standard inspection. Cargo manifest required. Scanning bed contents now.
The senior officer lifts the tarp. His flashlight finds the canvas bundle. $60,000 of Mammoth ivory, or evidence of illegal extraction. The difference depends on paperwork that doesn't exist. The bribe doubles. 10,000 rubles. Gas money for silence. Yakutsk Warehouse District, 2 a.m. Sergei operates from a converted garage behind a diesel repair shop. Industrial lighting, concrete floors, a scale calibrated for precious cargo. The ivory unwrapping becomes a medical examination. Under harsh fluorescent tubes, the hairline fracture reveals itself. A stress crack from Section 4's violent extraction. 40 centimeters of damaged premium material. Grade A becomes Grade C. Market value, $35,000. Minus the checkpoint tax. Minus Sergei's commission. Ivan counts $22,000. Enough to survive winter, not enough to retire from the permafrost. Guangzhou, China. Precision carving workshop. The fractured tusk travels 8,000 kilometers to become art. Master carver Chen Wei examines the stress fracture through a jeweler's loupe. 40 years of experience reading ivory grain patterns. The crack becomes a dragon's spine. Strategic design around structural weakness. 18 months of hand carving. The damaged Grade C material transforms into a ceremonial ship worth $400,000. Ivan's 22,000 becomes someone else's fortune. The Mammoth's 40,000-year journey ends in a Hong Kong collector's climate-controlled display case. Satellite imagery reveals the cost. The Lyakhovsky extraction site, a 30-meter crater where permafrost once stood solid. The collapsed grottos form sinkholes that continue expanding. Each thaw cycle, more ground disappears into the void. Dr. Elena holds her muddy water sample, all that remains of preserved DNA that could have mapped Ice Age migration routes. The river runs brown with sediment for 40 kilometers downstream, accelerated erosion, carbon release from thawed permafrost.
New equipment purchase confirmed. High-pressure pump unit. Capacity 6,000 psi. Fuel consumption double previous model.
Ivan stands in the Yakutsk equipment yard, signing purchase orders for next season. The cycle continues. Bigger pumps, deeper holes. More pressure applied to a landscape that's already breaking apart. In a land where fortunes lie frozen, can anything stop the digging before the permafrost gives up entirely? Subscribe the Pelagic Archives for more documentary.